The Krillian armada emerged from hyperspace with the arrogance of conquerors who had subjugated 47 star systems. Their fleet of 3,000 warships blotted out the stars above Earth, casting shadows across entire continents. Admiral Zexthor stood on the bridge of his flagship, mandibles clicking in satisfaction as he gazed upon the blue marble below. Another primitive world, he mused to his officers. Their electromagnetic emissions suggest they haven't even achieved basic fusion technology. This will be over before the solar cycle ends. What the Krillians didn't know, what no species in the Galactic Empire knew, was that humanity had been waiting for this moment for 2 centuries. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, in a facility that didn't exist on any map, Commander Eva Chen stood before a holographic display showing the alien fleet. Her dark eyes reflected the red warning lights that pulsed throughout the command center. Around her, dozens of technicians worked in controlled urgency, their fingers dancing across haptic interfaces. "They're hailing us," reported Lieutenant Jasper Hale from the communications station, his voice steady despite the enormity of what was unfolding. "Standard invasion protocols. Surrender or be destroyed." Eva's lips curved into a cold smile. "How many times have we run the simulations, Jasper?" 14,362, Commander, he replied without hesitation. Success rate 99.97%. Good enough odds. Eva turned to face the massive screen displaying the alien fleet. "Send them our response. Standard Earth diplomatic protocol." Jasper's fingers flew across his console. Within seconds, a simple message transmitted across all frequencies. "No." Aboard the Krillian flagship, Zexthor's translator crackled with a single syllable. He laughed, a sound like grinding metal. "Fire at will. Target their population centers. Make this quick." The Krillian fleet unleashed hell, plasma cannons that could vaporize mountains, missiles that could crack tectonic plates, and beam weapons that had turned gas giants into asteroid fields, all directed at the helpless world below. None of them reached Earth's atmosphere. "Aegis grid active," announced a technician in Eva's bunker. "All incoming ordnance neutralized." Above Earth, an invisible network of quantum-entangled defense satellites flickered into existence for microseconds at a time, each one intercepting and redirecting the alien weapons into empty space, using principles the Krillians wouldn't understand for another 10,000 years. The attacks that could have ended civilizations simply vanished, their energy dispersed across dimensional boundaries. Zexthor's confidence cracked. What sorcery is this?" "Intensify the bombardment." "Commander Chen," Jasper called out, his voice taking on an edge of anticipation. "Should we show them Phase 2? Eva nodded. "Light them up." Humanity had learned a terrible lesson from its own history. The species that struck first often survived. The species that struck last always won, so humanity had prepared, while the galaxy spent its resources on conquest. Humans had spent 2 centuries turning their solar system into the most sophisticated weapons platform ever conceived. From the moon's surface, railgun installations that had been disguised as mining operations swiveled toward the Krillian fleet. Each projectile was a tungsten rod the size of a telephone pole, accelerated to 0.3% the speed of light. They didn't need explosives. At that velocity, kinetic energy alone was devastating. The first volley tore through the Krillian vanguard like paper. Ships that had weathered the weapons of dozens of civilizations simply ceased to exist, transformed into expanding clouds of superheated plasma. The rods punched through shields, hulls, and out the other side, each one killing multiple vessels before their momentum finally dissipated. "Direct hits on targets Alpha through Kappa," reported a weapons officer. "Enemy casualties, 417 ships, 0 survivors." Jasper watched the destruction with grim satisfaction. His brother had been an astronaut, one of the first humans to make contact with an alien probe 15 years ago. The probe had vaporized his ship without warning. That day, Jasper had sworn that humanity would never be caught unprepared again. In orbit, Mars revealed its own secret. What the Krillians had dismissed as a dusty, dead world suddenly came alive. Beneath the regolith, humanity had constructed thousands of missile silos. Not conventional missiles, these were equipped with miniature singularity generators. Each warhead would create a temporary black hole upon detonation, swallowing everything within a 2-kilometer radius before evaporating in a burst of Hawking radiation. The Martian batteries fired in perfect synchronization, Space around the Krillian fleet twisted and warped as dozens of micro-singularities bloomed like dark flowers. Entire ship formations were pulled into oblivion. Their matter compressed to infinite density before being released as pure energy. Admiral Zexthor stared in horror as his fleet, the pride of the Krillian Empire, disintegrated around him. "Retreat," he screamed. "Full retreat to hyperspace." "I don't think so," Eva murmured in her bunker, half a planet away. She nodded to Jasper, who pressed a single key. The asteroid belt had been humanity's greatest engineering project. Over decades, humans had hollowed out thousands of asteroids and installed hyperspace disruptors inside them. Devices that created interference patterns in the fabric of space-time itself. When activated, they formed a cage that prevented any faster-than-light travel within the solar system. The Krillian ships tried to jump. Their hyperdrives charged, energy readings spiked, and nothing happened. They were trapped, conventional engines no match for Earth's defense grid. "All units," Eva commanded. Her voice broadcast to every human military installation from Mercury to Neptune. "Execute Protocol Omega." What followed wasn't a battle. It was an execution. Jupiter's moons unleashed swarms of autonomous drones, each one armed with antimatter warheads. Saturn's rings, secretly seeded with millions of kinetic kill vehicles, came alive. Even Venus, humanity's testbed for terraforming technology, contributed focused solar arrays that could melt the surface of a planet, now concentrated their fury on the Krillian fleet. In 18 minutes, 3,000 warships became debris. In the command center, silence fell as the last enemy signal winked out. Eva exhaled slowly, feeling the weight of 2 centuries of preparation, fear, and determination lift from her shoulders. Jasper turned to her, his face pale but determined. "What now, Commander?" Eva looked at the holographic display, now showing a debris field where the Krillian armada had been. Beyond it, the stars beckoned, a galaxy full of empires that thought humanity was primitive, helpless, easy prey. "Now," she said quietly, "we send a message. Humanity is not conquered. We are not slaves. We are not victims." Her eyes hardened. "And anyone who comes to Earth with hostile intent will learn what we learned from our own bloody history. That humans are very, very good at making weapons, and even better at using them." She turned to her crew. "Recover what's left of their technology. Let's learn everything we can about this galactic empire." A predatory smile crossed her face. "After all, they started this war. It's only fair that we finish it." In the darkness between stars, automated probes began broadcasting footage of the battle across every frequency known to galactic civilization. The message was clear. Earth was no longer prey. Humanity had become the apex predator.